There you go.
What a great cover.
Yeah, it's Kmart.
It's Kmart.
You good old
Here in a
Kmart.
phone.
Pardon?
The whole of Kmart.
I know,
in a
it's pretty
phone.
great, isn't it? Yeah, so you've had your first debrief.
Yeah.
And how'd that go?
Oh, it was really exciting because the project is actually met our mission statement.
Yeah.
It was, there's so many things going on with it that we can talk about what worked with each of the projects, and so as a pilot we can pick out the successes.
Yeah.
We know of course all the failures, they're really easy to identify, but what's more tricky is choosing what are the successes and how to take them forward. So we are going to have obviously another planning meeting on that, but we're having
So there are from temp there you've got a lot to go from. You're gonna go. It's not the end.
In terms of a
go.
trial for first, New Zealand's first public audience engagement in the conversation of climate change, we've hit so many different sort of styles and formats that we can go, well, this worked and this didn't work. We also, have the issue of the site and the location and therefore the local demographic, and therefore you go, who's the audience? And as you know, we had a really low turnout, which is pretty much impossible to choose whether it's the event or the location.
Who would you say is your demographic? From this, have you found because so we've got a list of questions with actually just from this.
Shall we start from the beginning? Do you want to start at the beginning?
Yeah, that might be easier.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. So
I've got my tour document too as well. I can reference that if need be.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you. So initially going into Tempt, what were the challenges that you first saw, when you were organising it?
When I was first brought on to bring it together? What were the first challenges?
Or then discovering?
Well, I put together a scoping document. The first challenges were getting representative around the table at the working party table. And right from the very beginning, one of the big challenges was working out a partnership with mana whenua and having their support and involvement. And that continued to be a problem throughout the project.
Why? Do they just keep asking for more things, or they weren't giving enough?
Just right from the beginning we had their blessing and an indication of commitment, but the translation through to participation was not as strong as we had hoped for, and that's just to do with number of people on the ground and other priorities. So especially with the local Kawerau Maki, at the beginning of this project they're still going through their treaty claims, and most of their focus is on the other side of the Manukau rather than this region. So working out that process is like, the whole of New Zealand and the treaty and the bicultural approach. It's an ongoing pathway that we're walking, and so that subject was still a big part of our conversation at the working party, because our representative from local iwi wasn't at this first debrief either. So immediately that's a subject for us.
So would you say they were not on site? So the local iwi, were they not on site, or they just weren't encouraging?
Okay, I've articulated that, because they were both encouraging and supportive, it's just they weren't available. And so more budget in that area, or maybe the issue of artists and scientists collaborating on the agenda of climate change isn't a priority, and other priorities took the energy and time. That's probably a more realistic interpretation of what's going on. It's not that gigantic project or...
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then, so, and other challenges, so like obviously the location. Yeah. When you first got Corbins, did you think it was a great opportunity? Were you excited for it to be here? Like, did you know, were you aware of the...
I actually probably was most attracted to the idea of activating the grounds at Corbin Estate Arts Centre, and I was invited because I do know the site, and I was part of the start-up team when the Corbin Estate was established as an arts centre back in the early 2000s.
Thank you very much.
Bye! I should be firing on all cylinders soon. So I was very excited by that. What I hadn't realised was that it is still a real struggle to bring people to the site. It's an awareness and an access that is really challenging. And in fact, in the local debrief, in the first debrief, we just talked about how the other hub, which is at Te Uru in Titirangi, like Titirangi is much more of a destination. It's got all those cafes and
you found that as well.
Here, like actually the Waitakere Rangers local board was the first to support the project, which is sort of the Titirangi and Glen Eden region, and we never got support from the local board.
What do you think the greatest strength in this project?
The greatest strength? The innovation of the concept and the people who were involved, and the freshness of some of the sculptures that came out of it. For me, one of maybe not the strength, but my most favourite was working with Circuability, which is sort of an interdisciplinary approach that sets other strength that actually is it's interdisciplinary, and it was participatory and interdisciplinary. Those are its two strengths. And so out of that comes the Circuability involvement, and why I got involved with Circuability was one of its big challenges is how do you talk about air, which is invisible within the arts world, and also the scientists really struggle to why the air quality scientists got involved was they're really struggling to engage audiences in thinking about air quality perception, and that's what they really wanted to get people to think about air quality. And the artists, and actually at the panel discussion last weekend, one of the artists said to me, so I came along to the meeting and went, well, your project's air, and Marcus was going nodding, and apparently after I left the room, Sue went, air? How are we going to do air? You can't even see air. So that was, their challenge to render the invisible visible. And because the air was going to be at Te Uru, and I was really looking at finding needing to include air down here on site, and also looking at a way to invite family. I wanted a gag, and when I was doing my research I saw just a family fun event in Britain which included a smoke ring.
Yeah, I know, it was awesome. And so that was very cool.
Right, so I really want to turn that into a visual gag and have someone vacuuming up the air, and Circuability totally stepped into that. So for me, my favourite outcome is that we have now got a circus act that is, blowing smoke out and trying to clean it up, which can be taken to WOMAD, can travel all around the country actually. So to invade, if you like, other family activity with climate change agendas in these sort of subtle ways. That was very cool.
Very cool. That was a very cool one.
Excellent.
So going into the project, so what were your main objectives? And what were you expecting the outcomes to be?
Main objectives was to clarify some of the issues of climate change and what are the relevant issues, the local relevant issues on climate change. What is climate change actually? What is carbon emissions? How are we as humans contributing to that problem? And how can we as humans realistically mitigate against and make behavioural changes? And how do we, given the facts, change people's heart and mind and habits?
Yeah.
How do we do that? That was,
I
guess, the challenge that really drove me to participate in it.
What was your strategic, so you've got these objectives, like how were you strategically going to, what was
the strategy?
Yeah.
Well, you just have to park for a minute. Hey, you two!